course, ahead of a sprint race for the first time in the Bwoah Racing League. With Dup on pole position, Andre on the front row, 5 lights are out, and away we go. Right off the line, Andre has a sloppy start of sorts, but keeps it level with Dup. Gets a better start compared to Dup. They're neck and neck, wheel to wheel, going into the first corner. It's Andre in P1, Dup in P2 as it stands, wheel to wheel through into sector 1 as they go. Andre still's got the nose up ahead, Dishy up in a P3. Big Man Joe tumbles down the order. Sicknick somehow up in a P4 as well, as 2 tenths between the front two.
Indeed, and there was a hectic first lap, I think somehow they made it through unscathed there. No damage so far for anyone, no collision just yet. And as we say that, Mr. Stark at the background just runs a little bit wide on the exit of Toza hairpin. Here comes Spiritella, and now it's a downhill dip into Aqua Minerale. And can these drivers keep it together for the first lap? Looks like everyone is just keeping it safe for now. There's a Horning. Horning is running wide, and UK senses an opportunity, sends it down the inside at Variante Alta. Horning tries to go defensive. UK is forced to go outside onto the exit, and Envy and Kubarabi are having an exchange as well. Kubarabi falling down the order. Freeze also falling down the order as well.
Andre sets the fastest lap, dictating his pace, and he's up into the race lead as well. Picked it off Dup, but here he comes Dup. Down the inside he dives into the corner, and up ahead retakes the race lead. Andre has to close that gap sooner than later because he's got Dishy hot on his tail on his gearbox, who dives down the inside just like Dup did and is sent into a spin as Big Man Joe takes P3. He's up ahead of Horning, and we will take that position off of Horning as we speak. The wheel to wheel as they come into Rivatsa. It's Horning somehow keeping the nose in front, but it's the Aston Martin that will pick off that position. Up into P6 goes Envy.
Indeed, and now immediately Kubarabi is on the back of Horning already, trying to line up a move on the Ferrari, but it looks like it's a little bit difficult to get a move on without the DRS just yet. But there you go, Freeze tries to make a move. RB Fellow now up into P9. Freeze is dropping down to P10.
Yeah, that was a beautiful overtake. A standard RB Fellow move on the main straight. We've seen that way too many times, and I love it every time we see it.
Once again, coming out of the Variante Alta, RB Fellow pounced on Kubarabi, who had a bad exit, and Kubarabi spins at Rivadza 1, and he's now down to P11. Up ahead though, Sarthak, I think we have a change of lead coming in. Andre, is he gonna go for the move? He's just 2 tenths behind, but no, he's still staying back behind for another second.
Meanwhile, in the back of the field, it's a Mercedes threatened for position by the likes of Mr. Wex perhaps. No, it's Mr. Stark who gets ahead of Mr. Wex after all, and will get ahead of Freeze as well. In a matter of couple of corners, Mr. Stark gets 2 positions, and they're left hanging at the back of the pack. Stark is on a charge on this outing of Bwoah Racing League.
Yeah, Freeze tried to have a look down the inside, poked his nose at the inside of Toza, but it was a closing gap that he can't go for.
He's become more mature of a driver out on track, and on the main straight, he's got all the cards he'd need to pull off a move on the likes of Horning as he weaves to the left-hand side of the track, wheel to wheel for barely a second or so. He'll pick up that position up in a P7. Will he be threatened for it any longer? No, not in any way.
Not in any way, indeed. And up to P7, next up ahead is RB Farlow, who has been running quite quietly so far, up into P6 already, and he might just have a company of Sicknick real soon. That's
battles in the back of the field.
Indeed, that was Freeze who ran wide, and that has invited Mr. Stark to go through. Kubarabi spots the opportunity as well, tries to get a cutback into Toza. Can he send it down the inside once again? There's no gap. But look who is sending it is Dishy around the outside, and that's Mr. Stark, who has spun once again out of Toza. Toza is catching on a lot of people today.
A 5-way battle now down to a 4-way battle. An unfortunate spin for Mr. Stark, who was well ahead of the pack in this scenario. But yeah, now it is Kubarabi. No, Freeze leading this pack. Barely half a second between all of these drivers at the back of the pack, while the front runners, there's barely a second's gap between them. And it's another spinning car. It's the Haas this time around. Kubarabi tumbles down the other. Second of the 5. Now there's only 3, and that gap is going beyond a second, close enough.
Indeed, Variante Alta claiming his first victim there with the curbs, launching him in the middle of the track.
Yeah, Andre is closing in much quicker this time around on Derp, and around the outside he's gonna weave side by side into the corner. They go, but Derp's still gonna have his nose in front and hold on to that race lead in this sprint race. Lap number 11 is the last lap, and seems like they are having contact. Somehow ghosting saves the pair, and Derp's gonna continue to hold on to the race lead. I'm surprised that wasn't an incident.
Derp might have just done enough in these first 11 laps, and he will come across the line. No penalties, no shenanigans. Will come across the line to win the sprint race of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Andre takes P2 and coming in close third after horrible qualifying. Envy will start P3 for the main race. UK will be P4. RB Fellow, another one who started on the back row, gets P5. Signic, after a, well, I would say subpar performance today, P6, I'd say third row of the grid is not too bad. Horning comes home in P7, will start exactly where he qualified in the sprint. Big Man Joe, he will have a bit of work to do.